Hey, it's Barbara and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 4 Dollar Tree Farmhouse Spring DIYs and we're going to get started on our first project. I will be using this glass canister from Dollar Tree and I'm going to go ahead and remove that plastic lid, set it to the side, and I'll use that for another DIY. Before I paint, I'm going to go over this with some rubbing alcohol, and then I'll let that alcohol dry before I start applying my paint. Now, you could spray paint this, but I'm going to go in with some Waverly white chalk paint, and I'm going to give this 2 thin coats, allowing each coat to dry in between. So you guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll notice that in the beginning, I did something a little bit different. And when I showed project number 1, I showed a picture of what we were going to be making. So a sweet subscriber of mine, Jalen, suggested that I do this so that you would be able to see what we are getting ready to make. So if you guys like that, please let me know in the comments down below, and I can continue to add the pictures at the project before we start our DIYs. So I did go ahead and paint the rim of this as well as the bottom. So I painted the entire piece except for the inside top part of the rim. So this is how it looks after 2 coats and that paint has dried. Now to decorate this piece, I'm going to be using one of Dollar Tree's rub-on transfers. And I was so excited when I found this because it looks like an old newspaper. I'm going to go ahead and cut out a section of that to fit around 2 sides of this canister, and I'm just going to take my scissors and carefully go around that piece. Then I'm going to hold it up to the piece to see exactly where I want to place it. Now, if you've not used these rub-on transfers before, they are so easy. All you have to do is peel the back off of it and then line it up exactly where you'd like to place it, and then press it down nice and smooth. And I'm using my Cricut burnishing tool, but if you don't have one of those, you could use anything with a flat edge. Just apply a little bit of pressure, not too much, but just enough to get those stickers to lay down. And if they won't stay as you're peeling the paper back, just burnish it a little bit more until those rub-on transfers will stay and you're able to pull that paper off. So once I get this paper off, this is so cute. I am loving how this is turning out. It just looks like an old-fashioned piece. I'm then going to take the other section, the top section of that transfer, and apply it in the exact same way on the other 2 sides. So now all 4 sides have this beautiful old newspaper look to it. Now I wasn't sure if these transfers were going to come off, so I did go in with some Mod Podge and apply that to the outside just to protect that so they would not wear off or come off. Now this is super cute as it is. You could just place the top right back on there, and you could use this to store cotton balls or something like that in your bathroom. But I want to use mine to decorate by using some florals or some greenery in there. So I'm going to go in with some jute rope, and I'm just going to hot glue that around the rim. So I just go around the entire thing, gluing it here and there, and then when I get to the top part of it, I'm going to work my way back down to the bottom just to get any places that I may have missed, and then hot glue those into place. Once I get to the end, I can just cut that off and glue the end on there, and now it is ready for me to decorate. So I'm going to be using one of these beautiful greenery pieces from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to bend the end up, place it in my canister, and this project is finished. I think this is so gorgeous. I love how it turned out. I love the way that it looks so old and timeless. Let me know what you think of this project. And also let me know if you would use this as a canister or if you like it as a decor piece with the greenery in it. If this is your first time visiting my channel and you are enjoying today's DIY, I would love for you to click that subscribe button and the notification bell. To all my current subscribers, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. For project number 2, we're going to start off with these beautiful candle holders, these glass candle holders with these metal stands. And after I remove the packaging from it, These are super, super cute just the way they are, but I wanted them to look like ceramic pieces. So again, I'm going to go in with my rubbing alcohol and clean those off really well before I paint these. Again, I'm going to paint these with my Waverly White chalk paint, and I am putting it on very thick because I want some texture in this. So as I'm going through, I'm just applying a really good coat of paint and allowing the brush strokes to show through so that I can make this look like stoneware, like a ceramic piece. And see how you can see each of those brush strokes. So I will give these 2 coats of paint, but I'm going to let those thoroughly dry in between coats because it is pretty thick. And I also went ahead and painted the top rim of these. So this is how it looks after they are dry, and I just love how that texture is. So I'm going to take some black chalkboard craft paint. Now I get my craft paint from Dollar General. And I'm going to use a dry brush. And at first, I just started emphasizing on the lines from the brush strokes. But then as I go around, I decided to go ahead and put a little bit more dry brushing in between those brush strokes just to really bring that texture out. And then I also made sure that I went around the entire rim at the top. I did this for both pieces. Now, because they're going to be sitting in these metal stands, I was afraid that my paint would chip or rub up against that metal. So I do go in with some Mod Podge, and I'm using matte Mod Podge because I didn't want it to have a glossy or satin finish. I wanted it to have more of the matte finish. Let that Mod Podge dry, and then I can place these in the candle holders. And now to decorate these, I'm going to use some boxwood greenery. And I picked this up from Walmart. These are just some leftover scrap pieces that I have. And you can get those, I think they're like 98 cents or maybe $1 or so a bundle. And I think these turned out so beautiful. They're almost like modern farmhouse. And I just think they're gorgeous. Let me know what you think of this project as well. And now we're going to get started on project number 3. I'm going to be using 2 of these terracotta pots from Dollar Tree. They are the 2.5-inch diameter pieces. And what I'm going to do after I remove the packaging is I'm going to take just a scrap piece of paper and wrap this around the pot so that I can create a template. So as I'm wrapping it around, I'm trying to make sure that I keep it really tight, and then I'm going to fold the bottom pieces in and make a crease all the way around there at the bottom. And then at the top part, right under the lip of the top of the pot, I am going to press my finger around and make a crease there, so that when I unfold this, I know where my lines are so that I can cut that out to create my template. Once I'm finished with the cutting out of this template, I do make sure that I wrap it back around this terracotta pot to make sure everything lines up, and so that I can cut the excess off because I know that it's going to be longer than it needs to be, but I wanted to make sure I had enough paper to go around there. So I'm just going to hold that right under the top part of the pot, and then once I wrap it around, I'm going to take a pencil and mark where the 2 pieces meet and leave a little bit extra just so I can make sure that I have enough paper to go around. Once I have my markings in place, I can just take my scissors and cut those straight lines down so that this will now be a perfect template. And this should fit for both pots, so you shouldn't have to cut a second template out. I'm going to be using some of this Farmhouse scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, and no, I did not pay $22 for it. I got it on sale, but it has some really beautiful prints in there. At first, I wanted to use the cow print, but it was way too large for these pots, so I ended up using some scraps out of the same book that I used in a previous DIY. So if you saw my video last week with the shelf on it, these are the pieces that were left over from that. I just held my template down, traced it out with my pencil, and then cut it down with my scissors. Again, I do make sure that it's going to fit before I attach anything to the pot itself. And then I'll take that template and use the other piece and trace that out. Well, actually, I used the piece that I'd already cut out as a template, but you could use the same template. They're the same size. Once I cut that out, I now have both of my scrapbook paper pieces for my terracotta pots. And I did make sure both of those were going to fit. But before I attach those scrapbook paper pieces to these pots, I'm going to take my Waverly White chalk paint and I am going to paint the top part of each pot. And I did make sure that I went under the rim just in case the paper went all the way up to the top, but like a little piece might have been missing. I wanted to make sure that outside rim was painted. I painted the bottom of each pot for the same reason, just in case the paper didn't go all the way down. And I also painted the inside rim just in case you could see that. So to attach the paper to the pot, I'm going to use some Mod Podge. And I just went around and put a nice, even, generous amount around maybe 1/3 of the pot. And then I can apply the paper on there, line it up and make sure that it's straight. Press it down, get any kind of wrinkles out of it, and then I can pull it up to the side and then go ahead and add my Mod Podge and then put that piece down, and then I can go on the other side, put the Mod Podge and press it down, and then I can get that seam. And once I have everything in place, it is going to have a little bit of excess at the bottom. So I took my scissors and just trimmed that off around the bottom, and I did this for both pots. And then to protect that paper, I'm going to go over the entire paper part of it with the Mod Podge again and let that dry. Now these are so pretty. I really thought they were really pretty with the paper and the terracotta pot color, but it really didn't go with my theme. But you could paint this whatever color you like, use whatever scrapbook paper you like. I just think these are so cute. To decorate them, I'm going to use some hop clover from Walmart and some more boxwood greenery pieces. And I'm just going to place those in each of the pots. And then for the hop clover, I just pulled those off of the stem and placed a few. I think I placed about 4 in each one. I like this because it has like a grass piece with it. So it gives it that little pop of white and then the sporadic little pieces of grass. But you can decorate it with whatever florals or greenery that you like. And I think these turned out super cute. I think these would be really cute on a tiered tray. Or you could even do this with a larger pot, but I just think these are so adorable. I love how they turned out. Let me know, would you have left it with the terracotta color, or if you like it with the white rim and the bottom being white? And also let me know if you enjoyed project number 3. So now we're going to begin on project number 4 and our last project of this video. I'm using one of these metal planter containers from Dollar Tree, as well as some jumbo craft sticks. I'm going to hold the first craft stick up to the top, and then I'll take my pencil and mark the outside edges of the pot. And then I'm going to take another craft stick and place that at the bottom and do the same thing, marking my outside edges at the bottom. Then I'm going to take a box cutter or a utility knife, and I'm going to score each of those pencil markings, and then I can go in with my scissors and cut those down. So I like to score these because it helps to prevent it from splitting and breaking before I cut them with the scissors. Once I have those pieces cut down, I do, again, always like to hold it up and make sure it's going to fit before I attach it to the piece. So I'm just going to attach it using some hot glue, and I'll do the exact same thing at the bottom piece. So for the top, I just made sure that I pushed it right under the rim and that I had each of the outside edges flush. Then I'll add my bottom piece, and then I'm going to take another craft stick and hold that up at the angle, and then I'm just eyeing this, just tracing out where the bottom part of the top stick and the top part of the bottom stick is, and then I can make my marks and cut them the same way. So I'm going to cut all of these craft sticks the exact same way by scoring them and then cutting them with my scissors. Once I make sure that's going to fit, I'm going to glue that one in place. Then I'm going to take another craft stick and do the exact same thing on the opposite side of this same piece. And once I have those marked, and I did find that it was easier if I kind of held it to the side so that I could line that up and draw out my marks. Once I have this glued in place, then I'm going to take 2 more craft sticks. So you're going to need a total of 6 craft sticks for each side. To create my X, I'm going to make sure that I leave the edges in the corners. So you want those edges lined up with the corners where your other sticks meet. And then again, I'm just going to eye it and mark my angles. And then I can cut those down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue one of them in, but then I did not want them to be glued on top of each other. I wanted to cut the space out. You could glue them on top of each other because they will bend a little bit, but I wanted mine to have the cutout in the middle. So I drew the first one and made sure that it was going to line up and cut it out. And then I also went ahead and cut the other half and lined it up before I glue it down. So once you get one of them cut and you make sure that they're both going to line up, then you can glue one down. You just hold them both up there so that when you glue your top piece down, you know where your angle is going to be at the bottom, and then it'll be held in place. And then you can go in and glue your bottom piece and make sure that it is lined up with the top piece. I hope that makes sense, you guys. And once I have that done, I will go in and I'm going to do all 4 sides exactly just like I did the front one. So this is how it looks after I've done all 4 sides. This is so cute and so farmhouse. I just love how it's turning out. I then took my hairdryer and put it on high. Now be careful because this is metal, but I'm going in trying to make sure that I remove any and all glue strands before I go in and paint this with my Waverly White chalk paint. So originally I was going to paint the whole entire outside piece white, but as I was painting the wood, I loved how that metal was coming through. So then I started to make sure that I took my time. So originally I wasn't really concerned about getting the paint on the metal, but then as I saw that I was going to keep that metal, I tried to be a little bit more careful. So in order to get the paint off of the metal, I just used a Q-tip and some nail polish remover, and it took it right off. I mean, you have to scrub a little bit, but it got it right off. And I think this is so cute. I love how that metal pops out off of that white. I'm just going to take one of Dollar Tree's foam squares, place that inside, and then I'm going to decorate this with this really tall, beautiful grass bundle from Hobby Lobby. It was on sale, and you guys, I don't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was $8, but that was before the sale. I'm also using some Dollar Tree baby's breath and some Spanish moss. So I'm just going to pull what little bit of moss I have out left, wrap that around the bottom part of the grass bundle, and then I'm just going to take these beautiful, well, they call them baby's breath, but they're cute little white flowers, and just sporadically place those around in my container, and I think this turned out so pretty. Let me know if you would have painted it all white or if you like how that metal shows through. You guys, let me know if you have a favorite in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. Please take care, and I will see you guys next time.